Here we are in a little box, a little steel box. But before I do a horde in the space, hopefully this doesn't lag too bad. But before I do a horde in the space, I wanted to show you something. This will make it easier. And yeah, I did all this in creative mode because having that much steel is it's not going to happen. It would just take too long. But I put this one in the desert. I have something similar to this in the wasteland. This got massive. It wasn't massive originally. Just let's just say the ramp part was pretty much the main structure. This all rose from a bit of necessity, and just I wanted to make sure that these wedge tips still appeared to the zombies as a viable means to get across. As far as I can see, as long as you have something, I think if they don't want to come over here. They will, which leads me to believe that they don't see this. They see this as a possibility, but only if they break a block here and then they can break these. So I probably should have left that out because they congregate here. They do tend to congregate, which doesn't really matter because there's so much steel here that they can't really like take the whole structure down on a horde. Not to say that I did not have, which precipitated all this additional outs, I built onto it. A lot more. Uh, and of course, they caused so much damage down here that I just went ahead and filled it in. And ooh, I was about to say, wouldn't you want to come up here? Yeah, he's got tenacity. Anyway, what I wanted to show you wasn't here at the base. And they can beat on that base for a long time. I had a 24-hour horde here. Now, notwithstanding, when the horde was finished, they were all screamer hordes, but I just had it was just an ongoing horde all the way around to 2100 hours again. So 23 hours worth, and I quit. They were still coming, but it was too late at night, and I said, no, I'm just gonna quit. I am barely moving for whatever reason. I guess it's having to load in. What I wanted to show you before we do a horde there was this crevice. Now, I don't know whether it's something that people have already seen. Um, I was surprised. I mean, you'll see when I get there. Okay. Thought I heard a little flapping. You'll see when I get there that they intentionally did it. It's this is an Abisgain map, so and they have put these broken bridges back in the world. Got a Dishong Tower over here, um, but this crevice. Well, this isn't the crevice. This is the river, but past this, there's a crevice, a large crevice, And I wanted to show you something that was down in there because I don't think anybody, well, I don't think somebody may have crawled down here, but I haven't seen anybody mention this. But there's a structure down there. There is a structure on the surface that's part of a mine that, you know, it's obviously a POI that you can get to, but this, this part down in the crevice is a little strange. In that I don't really see a way, if the game will allow me to bring the map up, I don't see a way to get down to it, really, you know. Okay, just due west then, yeah. You can see it on the map. It's coming up. But it's so odd. I was flying around. As you can see, it's right in front of us. So I'm flying around and I see this crevice, and there's several structures. And I did adapt one of them. Could run a horde there. It's like I kind of made it as an alternate horde basis. I wasn't sure what I was going to find, but as you can see down there, overhanging the cliff, I put a fence around it so it could be. But the crazy part is down here is a structure that I don't see has any. It has no connection to the top. So the only way that you could even get to this is just to go down here in the cave. Now, of course, like I said, this mine that that's at the other end, this far end, does give you, I guess, it's what gives you access. I don't see it. Doesn't go down to the bottom. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go up here first just to get a look at this structure. It's intriguing. As I said, you know, it's unlikely that anyone's come down here, or at least I haven't seen anybody make a video of it. So, did I miss it? So this would be the mine. Hold on. What am I missing here? Am I going the wrong way? Okay, so the road ends right here. Interesting. Yeah, I went. It's down there, but this comes up. So I built a little fence around it. It's got a nice deck, right. And that's a POI, as you can see. But we'll go all the way down, and you can't see it. That's the thing. If you were to just look from above, you would miss it. I just happened to come down here. Where are you? Wouldn't that be crazy if it was all of a sudden it was gone? Like, yeah, you were seeing things. There's nothing down here. No, I promise you, there's something down here. What? 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 Well, he is ambitious, isn't he? Look at this guy. Wow. He is just, he's determined. How did you make that drop? I would say that obviously there is no fall damage for zombies. He's gonna scale the whole side. Oh, no. Anyway, here it is. Right? So you come down here and you see how it's embedded in the side. And I was just kind of astonished that this was here. There's a loot room, and it says Navascane National Forest or State Forest. U.S. Department of Agriculture. So there you go. And this is a POI. The thing is, it's just how do you get here? You know, I thought for a moment it's like, what is this? You know, like some Easter egg or something. But there is what a loot area over here. But that's it. There's that. That's. But as you can see, it's embedded. Now, of course, as far as to get down here, this this is something I was initially intrigued with. I came along and I saw this, so I said, "What in the world is this?" And I can see this right here, and it's like, what? So I said, "Well, what's down here? Is there anything down here?" And sure enough, you can see that I adapted this as well. Okay, so it does go all the way to the bottom. All right, so yeah, it is intended to find that. That's somehow, I don't know, part of this POI in some way. How am I missing this guy? Okay. Yeah, I made this part. Yeah, I built a little impromptu structure here. What? They're trying to get in, I guess. So here's this odd crevice out in the middle of the desert. Now we'll go back and do a horde in that base, just so. Is it northeast, southeast, northeast? Slightly northeast, right? And I wanted to show you at least one aspect that was always in question was the faster you kill the zombies. Because if you set it at 64, you're not going to get the next wave until you kill some number of the first wave. And or some amount of time I don't know what the criteria is exactly for that. But certainly, it just doesn't unleash 64 and then 64. It's just not just consistent and just one after the other without some type of time period. I just know where that time period is is predicated upon. But it seems like, because if I say throw Molotovs at them, so there's some are dying, but it's not rapid, then I'll just get a little like a steady inflow of zombies, not like a large wave, just consistently coming in. But then if I just open up and start shooting them and killing maybe 10, 20, 30 in a short period of time, and all of a sudden I look around and I see just look, the same number coming. So you'll see in a second. So we'll get this. So this is a screamer. No. All right. Now, of course, it doesn't matter, I don't think, insofar as it's going to put me at day 16. That's the only deal. So I have to put it on a Horde night. Last Horde night, or wait till the 21st. But I've already done this many times, so it doesn't really matter. But you'll see that they congregate over to my right, or will congregate up. Well, at least when the Horde starts, the majority of them will go over to there. So unless now, because of this, they see getting there and then jumping up and breaking these blocks is the best, they'll still do it. They still congregate here. That's the main thing. So as long as they're willing to stay in this general area, right? Yep. Gotta light it first. But in a moment, after the Horde gets going here, you'll see there'll be a little bit of a, not necessarily a lull, but you won't see just massive numbers or groups coming in at one time. You see they're streaming in. I mean, not many have died yet. They're still just slowly. But once enough have died, yeah, that seems to definitely get them going. Just don't want the bird to come up and knock me off. They like to do that, as he's about to do right now. So if I unload on him a little bit here, not many birds. I don't know how I got that bird, but that's fine as long as I got him. That just went underneath me. That's better. Yeah, I don't see any big mob of people coming, but I see. Yeah, I mean yeah, they come like ants as soon as I start really start killing them en masse. I would go in the bunker, but this is just better. As long as the birds don't bother me too much. But of course, if I wasn't in God mode, I don't know if I'd attempt this. There, a cop just spit at me, which is a little strange considering all other hordes. They've been relentless. And yet there's almost none now. Unless I've just been killing them and not realizing it. Picking a hit. Okay. There's plenty more coming. And I know you probably think that this is going to give way. It may weaken. I did notice that they were taking that much damage. Usually the cop acid does some damage, but Just doing some generalized damage of blocks that I just replaced. I don't see a great many coming, but still coming. Well, that didn't do much. Okay. How about that? I guess the main thing is I want to kill enough, soon enough, to keep the influx of zombies coming. To keep it high. Almost like an aggro. It seems like they go into a rage when I fire them up, and then I start killing more and more. Well, it's not. All right, well let's open up a little bit then. Oh, here comes the radiateds. Okay, good. That pushed it ahead a little bit, because I was getting them late, like at 4. All of a sudden, here comes radiateds, and it was just okay. Ooh, look how far he jumped. You're a long pup. What was that? What was that? I mean, I'm sure a dog can jump a little higher than the rest, but that's a little ridiculous there. You're just hitting metal. That's all you're doing. Did that push anymore? What is all... Okay. You're missing by a mile, brother. Okay, come on. Let's resume before it gets too late. I had a feeling, and I should have looked up because I had that feeling, and I was right. The scope's not absolutely necessary, obviously. Let's see. Seems to be just dying down now. We could probably fire it back up, though. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. Look. Yeah. It just comes down to, I mean, if you have the ammo, I mean, obviously, you can't just pull this off unless you really got prepared. I would actually, I mean, I'm at game stage 120, so not really, really high. I'm like probably 10,000 kills now with this horde, or 8,000, the 8,000 something. I think I'm at like 120 or 30 player level. So I would be on like, I don't know, day 30, day, you know. I'm at Horde night every 3 nights, but I would probably be at day 30 or something by now. Let's see if we're gonna get screamers, because previously I was just continually getting screamers. No repeat performance of that yet, but that was crazy. I mean, I was getting multiple screamers. They were screaming, and then I could not kill one fast enough, and the others were already screaming, so on and so on. It is a challenge with the scope, but the cripple mod is really satisfying because it's kind of pathetic at some points, right? You just you take off an arm and they're still gonna crawl, still crawling, still trying, missing a leg, missing an arm, doesn't matter. It's just Relentless. You know? He's still gonna try. You know? Who is beating on what? What is going on down here? Somebody is tunneled underneath. They're trapped. Really? Where were you? Oh, wow. Not bad. Look, he's in. He squeezed through there, didn't you? You squeezed through there somehow. You squeezed through there. I don't know how you did it. I'm gonna have to do something with that for sure, right? And you know what's weird? With my agility goggles on, it actually seems like I get better loot. I kept going back and forth. With Lucky Looter on, it's just not. I got tier 6 augers, tier 6, all sorts of stuff. Go back, change back to to Lucky Looter. How did you get in there? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, but I got my agility goggles on right now, right? Right. Yep. And I've got +4 looter goggles. So just as a for instance, let's see. Yeah. Tier 6 boots. Kind of nominal. Nothing big. Let's try the looter goggles then. See if it seems like it makes a difference. I mean, whether it's 3 or 4 things, see, that's better. It's hard to tell. But when now this is a better bag, so it does have a little more. But I could swore no, it doesn't, see. I got this on last Horde. I don't know. It's hard to say whether the goggles. I got a chainsaw this time. I don't know. Because I have Lucky Looter on 5, so it's maxed out. That's not an issue. All that's left is the goggles. I have them on, and that's that. So the main thing was to say, okay, does this work? I don't know. It's a little bit wider than this, a little bit bigger, not by much. In the wasteland, That was going to be my first attempt. Oh, they busted through. And I looked at this and I said, this is this cheap corrugated thing, and it's probably not going to be that good. And it wasn't. Now, what I don't know is, did they manage to jump up there? Because I thought I had this kind of worked out to where I guess, yeah, they can pile up there. I thought maybe, I could be slick and just kind of, which I can. I can do it, but thought I could just jump up there like that. But they can too. You have to rethink that. Not a big deal. Nice thing is with the agility goggles on, I can't break my leg. Not that it matters, but in real life, it would matter. In real life. In real simulated life. In real 7 Days to Die simulated life. Alright, so, well, just because I'm here. This is actually a cool world. I mean, decent sized cities. They're a little more spread out than I had thought. I made a random map with a seed of zombie. Just didn't know what that would be, but I ended up with a random world that has large cities in it. But the Navigating map that just came up here, not so much. And this is where I ran into the radiated zones. Definitely once you get to this hard edge, which you can see how much is left here. This is all radiated. Once you get over here, this is skirting the edge of the radiation. If you go anywhere further in, it starts to turn radiated. And on you go. It's all radiated. And it gets to the end of the world. It just ends. There's nothing out here. So there is a complete border around this thing. You can see how big this is. This is all radiated. And this is an edge. Okay? That is a hard edge. And this is all radiation. Can't even see. There's the edge of it there. So it's in the past you had water, bodies of water, certain places, other places. I don't know. Did it ever just go to the edge? Uh-oh. You can get a little freeze. Too much to spawn in. I don't know. I don't think in the past, like in Alpha 18, Alpha 19, whatever, I don't think I flew to the... When I did fly to the edge, I encountered water all along like the northern border. It seemed like that when I would go to the west, I ended up with the landmass all the way to the edge. I don't know. Maybe this is something new just for 20 where they've, encompassed the entire map in a radiation zone and put a limiting edge band around it. See if I can get to this. Actually, it's kind of stupid, right? If it'll let me open the menu. Oh, that's true. I don't know the name of it. 413, 409. Four 409. Do we see anything like that? Okay. Wow. I am like quite close, aren't I? That's a little bit for it to manage. It's gonna have to think about that one for a second. So I'm inside the building. Hopefully not inside the wall. Looks like I'm gonna. Come on. I don't know. Maybe a little much. Yeah. Well, if it's just not gonna let me, I'll end it here. But as I said, the base is basically the same. The area, my living area, is a little bit altered. I tried the diagonal bars just as something I found that looked interesting. It was something to help with the birds initially, but they're interesting. I tried them. I mean, it's steel. There's so many blocks now. It's ridiculous. You could play around for quite a while. Yeah, I can see some. And they knocked down my sign. That one of the main things when I got here was that I had built my base and I was right by the sign. And oh, come on, now it's a problem because I went up 4 blocks. Yeah, it's time for a new computer. It is time for a new computer. I mean, I got 16 gigabytes of memory, but I can't see where that would be the big deal. Anyway, it'll just finish. Because my base is right by here. My goodness, I threw the game for a loop. Okay, come on, you can do it. You can do it. I don't know what the crazy yikes. It shouldn't be that there's a lot of zombies out here. It's just the structures. Some of them are populated. Some of them I've been through. Okay. Anyway, this is just another version. Oh, now come on. You can't tell me that just going down the road is going to be that big a thing. I did incorporate this. I thought this was interesting. I wanted to give them a way to get as close to me as they could. So if I was standing up here, same thing applies. I can, toss Molotovs down at them and shoot down at them and It's got the same little well here. And I gave myself a little room. This was open at one point, but there you go. Wanted to try to see if I could incorporate. Haven't not noticed that. I don't think I did a horde here after I put this back here, because of course, if they come up and hit it, it falls down. So we're gonna see if that helped, if that worked. Anyway, that's the one in the wasteland. But they knocked down my sign. It did say, it went across there and it said, "Thank you." I could rebuild it. It said, "Thank you." And I could stand on my base and look at the sign, but now my sign is gone because the cop, got it with some acid, and that was that. So, yep, I'm just experimenting in the harsh regions, see what the hordes are like. And I just started getting radiated, so. But yeah, they can't take down these massive structures in one horde or even two hordes. Now, notwithstanding something like this, when I get them that close to me, then it gets a little dicey because, of course, they're right there. And of course, even on the other horde base, they got in. I can stop them over there, though. All right, all right, all right. That's obnoxious. That's a big tower. All right, so that's my world. It's actually not got too many big cities unless I missed something. I don't think I missed a big city there. It's possible. A lot of area here I haven't covered, but yeah, there still could be some decent sized cities out here. More than there used to be, it seemed like. But this, I don't know. Of course, since the map ends right here, that's a good chunk of it. That's you know, definitely whittles down the size, but still, that's a lot of area to cover until you get the gyrocopter. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I got going on. Just been playing around with some horde bases. Been flying around, looking around, because questions. What's out there? And now I know. At least on this map. And I thought it was cool. Um, no, I didn't actually want to get in. Thank you. That I put the supercharger, the reserve fuel tank, and the vehicle's fuel saver mod. I don't know what else goes in here. Not sure. There must be something else. Because this only takes one seat, so it can't be that. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe there is no other mod. Other than the gas tank? No, that's for those tools. Anyway, haven't flown it yet, but I do have the mods in it. Yep, there we are. I've, as I said, 138 game stage 114, almost 8,000. Yeah, I died a few times. That's when I decided to just experiment, play with it, put it in God mode. I just want to really see what's going on with the zombies. What are they doing? Why are they doing it? What are they breaking? Why are they breaking it? The only reason they broke this is because I happened to be over here at the time. I tried to save them. I tried. Just wasn't possible. So I'm just gonna hang out here and see if I can get any more information. I'd like to, I'm gonna do a run. It's just a little training, just a little observational exercise in the harsh areas of the wasteland, the desert. I haven't gone to the burnt biome yet, but I do want to go to the hazardous area just to see if I get like just tons of radiated zombies. I went to the edge. I backed out of it just because if you fly through it, you can't even see. It's so hazy. It's just you you can't see. It's pixelated. You can't see. I haven't tried to going on the ground yet though, but that'll be the next thing just to get an idea. If it's I know if you have the hazmat suit, you can survive in it, but I don't know if there's cities there. I didn't really look on the ground yet. Working on other things and didn't get to it yet, but that's something I do want to go look at. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. Y'all have a good one. See you next time.